Podcasts on unctv.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
The North Carolina Museum of History unveils Part 2 of its groundbreaking Story of North Carolina exhibit. Here's producer Derek Long with a preview.
The first part of the Story of North Carolina exhibit opened in April and traced our state's history from ancient times up to the 1830s. Now folks can learn the rest of the story with the opening of the second part of the exhibit. Here visitors will learn about the social order in antebellum North Carolina and how people lived.
People will come into the antebellum area. They'll learn about how North Carolinians made a living during that time period. They'll find out about how the system of slavery affected all North Carolinians. They'll get to see a slave cabin from Martin County that was built around 1860 that we've got reconstructed in the exhibit. We have a wonderful collection of Civil War artifacts here, and so a lot of them are going to be on display in that portion.
The Civil War brought destruction and hard times to the South and the period of Reconstruction.
As a part of that Reconstruction area, we have a theater that has a video about the Wilmington Race Riot. That was a really big deal in the state. It was in the end of the 19th century, the 1898 election, where white supremacists basically took over the city of Wilmington. It was the only coup of a city government in the United States.
Exhibits tell about major industries in North Carolina, from tobacco to furniture to textiles.
Within the textile mill, we have looms set up in a room where you can come and press a button and experience the conditions of working in a textile mill. You'll hear the boom of the machines going. You'll actually feel the floor shaking the way you would have if you were inside the mill. You'll see the lint flying up in front of your face, so it gives you an idea of what it would have been like. There's mirrors set up around our artifact looms to make it look as if you're in one of those long rooms in one of the mills, and with the textile looms going day and night, making all that racket and putting all the lint into your lungs.
Innovations and inventions helped usher our state into the 20th century.
Also, that area talks about some of the social movements at the time, prohibition, women's suffrage, so a lot of changes that were taking place in North Carolina.
You can step into a recruiting office to enlist in the war to end all wars, as many North Carolinians did.
In World War I, we actually had 106% enlistment, which means that some North Carolinians who weren't even eligible tried to enlist to be in the Army.
One section covers the impact of the Great Depression,
where we cover how North Carolinians lived through the Great Depression and talk about some of the New Deal policies. That one is a beautiful area filled with lots of photographs of North Carolinians from the time period.
Learn about our state's vital role in the Second World War.
We talk about how North Carolina trained more service people than any other state in the nation, so we have an area set up to look like a barracks.
In this section, there's also a video about the U-boat war off our state's coast.
A lot of people don't realize that North Carolina was very close to the war because there were submarines just off the coast sinking ships. During 1942 in particular, over 60 ships went down during the war off the North Carolina coast, sunk by U-boats.
Other major events like the Civil Rights Movement are also covered.
We have an area that talks about civil rights with the lunch counter from the Salisbury sit-in that took place shortly after the Greensboro War was sit-in.
These are just some of the highlights of the 14,000 years of our state's history covered in this exhibit.
This is a really big exhibit and it's a lot to take in, so we're hoping that people that live close enough will come again and again and focus on individual areas and get a lot out of it each time that they come. This is a free exhibit, so it's a wonderful opportunity for people to come and find out more about their state's history.
The Story of North Carolina exhibit is on permanent display at the North Carolina Museum of History on East Edenton Street in downtown Raleigh. For more information, go to ncmuseumofhistory.org. And if you're in Raleigh on Saturday, November 5th, be sure to swing by the Museum of History for its Celebrate North Carolina History Festival from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Podcasts on unctv.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.